pleasure to be present on this occasion of the launching and formal presentation of Chief Bisi Akande's autobiography. This is not the first publication by this distinguished public figure, but this is an authoritative account of his life and times. My being here, therefore, is more than a pleasure. It is a duty. Chief Bisi Akande is, by common consent, a decent, truthful, friendly person. He is a public servant by choice and an administrator of the first order. My first personal contact with Chief Akande was, if I recall correctly, in 2006, when a preliminary consultations were coming to fruition for a grand coalition to unseat the PDP government. Those efforts eventually came to nothing. Neither he nor I nor many of our friends and associates gave up, as in Chief Akande's words, the country was going down and down under PDP, page 396 of my participations. Bisi Akande had risen to prominence from his participation in the Constituent Assembly established by General Olusegun Obasanjo's military government. He was always, excuse me, he was always in the thick of things through the difficulties and political discontinuities of the 1980s and 1990s. He emerged as governor of Osun State in 1999 when the military handed over to the civilians. Chief Akande had a horrendous baptism as governor of Osun State, with discord from his own party. His state assembly, including an attempt to impeach him without any reason whatsoever, from the trade unions and from his own deputy governor. On top of that, he inherited a deeply indebted treasury, huge areas of salary, allowances, and pensions, enough challenges to overwhelm many an aspiring leader. Bisi Akande stood four square and faced all the challenges head on and overcame most of them. His first action was to stop payment of critical allowances, a euphemism for government money customarily shared by the big boys in Osun State. This set the tone of his administration. Within 1 year, he had paid off all the salary and other areas, proof of a competent and serious administrator. By 2003, Chief Akande had virtually sanitized governance in Osun State, having cleared some of the troublemakers from his government. And though reluctant to serve a second term, he was persuaded to run again in 2003. It is common knowledge that Akande was the victim, along with other AD governors, of a diabolical double cross. Yes, a diabolical double cross, which ended his gubernatorial career. Only the steadfast Asiwaju Bola Tinubu escaped the electoral massacre. Only the steadfast Asiwaju Bola Tinubu escaped the electoral massacre masterminded by President Obasanjo. Desperately disappointed though he was, and being a good Muslim, he accepted this setback as part of the trials of life. He looked to the future of service to the country. Chief Akande was in the thick of further attempts in 2011 and 2014 to fuse together different groups and dislodge PDP from governance. The key to his thinking, which coincides with mine, is that Nigeria can only be successfully managed by alliances between major groups. Although we failed in 2011, by persistence and knowledge that PDP was driving the country towards disaster, several major parties were able to finally coalesce into APC in 2014. Chief Akande was unanimously chosen as the first chairman of this great coalition. Throughout the difficult negotiations, I found Akande truthful, steady, and always with an eye to the ultimate goal. In or out of office, he has trained his inflexible integrity. On page 400 of his book, he wrote, and I quote, "I never gave to or demanded bribe from anyone all my life," unquote. A perfect gentleman, a perfect public officer. There is a famous Hausa saying, I quote, "Labarin zuciya a tambayi fuska." Loosely translated, it means, if you want to know what is in a man's heart, watch his face. Akande has a permanent smile on his face. He is the type I will go into the jungle with. This book is a historical document. Students will find this an invaluable source of Nigeria's politics, notably between 1999 and 2020. I recommend this book to students and the general public. Thank you, and may God bless Bisi Akande.
Indeed, it's a great honor and a very rare privilege for me to serve as the chief host at this public presentation of what I know will soon be a most read book by students of history, politics, as well as those who are keen for general interest in reading. Chief Bisi Akande, fondly known as, to many of us, as Baba Awomo KKK, ably translated as, is the father to youth and to young alike like myself. Is one of Nigeria's most selfless politicians and a beacon of democracy and a progressive governance. There are not so many people, living or dead, that have sacrificed in more than him for democracy that we all enjoy here today. Chief Akande is a man of great respect and veneration, and it is therefore not surprising that the public presentation of his autobiography is being witnessed by notable politicians and progressives, of course including Mr. President himself. This is indeed a testament to his formidable standing among politicians and progressives. Indeed, whenever Baba Akande's name is mentioned, it is in company of words like integrity, courage, principle, honesty, loyalty, generosity, and service. All his life, from the very humble beginning as an apprentice mechanic and a shop clerk in Ilaorangun in the then Western region, up till today, he has lived consistently by those values. You will all agree with me that this man, who has fully paid his dues in politics and in public service, started way back in 1977 in the Constituent Assembly. He further became the secretary in the old Oyo State government under late Chief Bola Ige, also serving him as deputy governor of the then Oyo State. And then he became elected as the governor of Osun State in the Fourth Republic, and consequently serving as founding chairman of 4 political parties, one of which was the foremost opposition party to defeat a ruling party in Nigerian presidential election. His life and career are remarkable examples to all of us coming behind, a towering signpost and a nationalist who changes us to give our very best in service to the people at all times. Baba Omo Kekeke is a story that once remembered to all of us in politics should always be about selfless service and not personal benefit or enrichment. Everyone who knows Baba Akande, and even those who do not know him too well, attest that he always stands for truth, no matter the challenge or odds stacked against him, including the threat of impeachment as one time during his tenure as governor of Osun State. His commitment to the welfare of his people as governor of Osun State between 1999 and 2003 is a standard by which his successors will always be measured. Similarly, the standard of his fairness, his equity, his integrity that has set him as a pioneer chairman of the then AD, AC, ACN, and at one point in time, APC, will forever be a benchmark for all coming after him. Today, the All Progressive Congress is one of the most successful political parties on the African continent. When you look around this hall today and observe the breadth and the scope of that party, one cannot but be grateful for the early sacrifices and commitments made by people like Baba Bisi Akande. As a true Democrat committed to the tenets of democracy and participatory governance, it is perhaps very apt that his autobiography is a book deeply rooted in political history, which also functions as a democratic encyclopedia and a political memoir of sorts. It is also an affirmation of deep and genuine love for family and friends, and a compass that will inspire the generation and future generations to embrace the ideals of patriotism, diligent service, selflessness, and prudence. Let me also say that the book being presented today is a very timely offering at this junction in our national life, and it is an evolution of our political practice. To quote from the foreword of this book from our very own Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, it says, "It's a national gift that cannot have come more instructively timed." We're grateful to Baba Akande that has taken the time and effort to document his remarkable story in a most lucid and engaging manner. We thank the Almighty God for the long life and the good health he has blessed Baba Omo Kekeke with. We are confident that he still has many more years with us for us to partake of his deep wisdom and counsel, his fence mending and build bridging capacity, as well as his calming and stabilizing influence on the polity. As you can tell, I am an excited chief host here today. And on behalf of all the good people of Lagos, on behalf of all my fellow governors that I've thrown here in large number, on behalf of the teeming array of politicians and heads that have come here today, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has honored our invitation to be here today. And I warmly welcome you to Lagos State, to the Center of Excellence. We're indeed proud and honored to have this public presentation, my participation, with us here today. I want to thank you all very much, and I hope we'll have a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Mr. Bisi Akande, Bisi Akande recognized he had essential things to tell us in a straightforward way. And that is what he did in the book. Being a key light in our political ferment, whatever Baba says about his life also doubles as an intimate account of the political story of Nigeria. Bisi Akande represents what a public figure in Nigeria ought to be. He is what many should aspire to be. From humble beginning, he rose through hard work, intellect, courage, perseverance, sacrifice, dedication, and what we call self-discipline and self-tuition. He did not walk the easy way. He earned things the hard way and principled way. Nothing the time, though easygoing demeanor, he was always strong of character. Without seeing the four walls of any university, Chief Akande tutored himself and become a qualified accountant at the age of 22. People saw him the rare combination of gift, fairness, tolerance, and vision. Because of this, he was chosen as the chairman of the AD, Alliance for Democracy, Action Congress, AC, and ACN. And as a crowning achievement regarding to party leadership, he became the interim chairman of APC. You've heard that. Helping to shepherd the historic merger of several major parties into one. Without Bisi Akande's guidance, that merger might have never come to pass. We owe him deep gratitude for a singular devotion to consummating the complicated merger in a positive manner that even candidate General Muhammadu Buhari, the candidate then, General Muhammadu Buhari, was able to demonstrate his popularity by achieving a monumental victory in 2015. The connection I share with Chief Bisi Akande is long-standing and broad. We have been fellow travelers in the struggle for democracy and progressive governance.
And I'm so happy that we have people like him, and I'm so happy he has put all these experiences in writing for the next generation. I think one of the most important things to remember is the message of this book. And in my review, I have made 3 very key and compelling points, and I would like to state them very quickly. One clear message from this book is the fact that we can't sit and watch and leave politics to politicians. We have to participate. Politics requires people of conscience, men and women of courage, men and women of ideas. And this is why we can't watch. We have to participate. It is our responsibility. We need to bring in content, we need to bring in courage, we need to bring in conscience into politics. The second point that came very clear from this book is the fact that we need statesmanship, especially in times of political and moral crisis. We need statesmanship.
Chief Bisi Akande is a unique personality who deserves to be celebrated. He is a self-made man who worked very hard and was determined to succeed in life. He did not go to any secondary school. He never saw the inside of any university. except for short courses later in life. Yet, this great man, through home studies and learning by correspondence, he worked hard to obtain the certificate of a chartered secretary and later became a qualified accountant at the tender age of 22 years.
I'm happy to welcome you. I'm grateful to you for sparing all the expenses and time to travel all the way all over the country to come and honor me at this occasion. I'm grateful to you. I'm only uncomfortable that each time our president is coming here, he's always in a hurry. He is our president. We love him. He's one of us. We always want him to relax and come and stay with us, be at dinner with us, let our children eat with him, touch his clothes, and let him know that we love him. But his handlers never recognize that he's no longer growing younger. They match him. They think he's still a soldier. They mark him from the naval yard to the hotel. They are marching him back to Abuja, maybe for another event. And that's the way they will march him throughout today, throughout tomorrow. I thank you for coming, and I pray you, a successful tenure in office. We love you because we love Nigeria. We want Nigeria. And we want Nigeria to be united. We want Nigeria to be peaceful. We want Nigeria to be prosperous. You have a lot of job to do. It's not yours alone. But because you are our leader, we abuse you for everything that is wrong. Even though when we know we are not honest ourselves. We know we are fraudulent. We know we are deceitful. We know we are cheaters. And all the results of all the things we are doing wrong, we blame on you. I don't sympathize with you. You apply for the job, and you have the job. May your tenure be prosperous. May Nigeria be greater in your time. May Nigeria be united. May Nigeria be peaceful. Thank you for coming.
Photographers, can we have you now? Quickly, quickly. We would also like to invite the Senate President to please join us.
And for all those who will be interested in supporting this book, the contributions and indeed their donations, we have officials of Wema Bank. They are clad in wine T-shirts with the ALOT inscribed on it.
Photographers, are you okay? We would now like to invite
the governors,
all the governors
present. Please, could you join
all the governors
the President,
who are here.
Federal Republic of Nigeria, and
Governor
the
of